I can't wait to dive into the project. I guess the question I wanted to start with, Tribeca has 8,000 short film entries a year, and your film made it as part of this kind of prestigious collective. How does it feel to be picked and to have your short so universally loved?
I'm sorry, you broke up there. Just sorry. Give me 1 second here. I'm gonna try taking off data or Wi-Fi.
No worries, no worries. Take your time.
Okay, hopefully, can you still hear me and everything?
Yeah, yeah, great.
Okay, great. So, yes, I think I got the gist of the question, so I'll continue there. Yeah, it's incredible to be selected. I mean, it's always great whenever you get selected to any film festival, but just the excitement around this one, and yeah, how prestigious it is. And I applied or submitted my film, with the hopeful best intention, but you always kind of figure, probably not. And then I got this phone call, and I was selected, and I was just over the moon. Like, it's so exciting. And it's curated by Whoopi Goldberg as well, which is just insane because I grew up watching her films, Sister Act, and she was a voice of Shenzi in The Lion King, which is one of the films that really put me on the path to animation. I watched that film over and over and drew the characters. So it's just kind of like full circle, and it's just beautiful.
Yeah, no, I think beautiful is the perfect word to describe it, and so well deserved too. I found the short to be so impactful. I think it's incredible how much emotion you can pack into 10 minutes. I think it's really commendable. I'm curious if you don't mind speaking a little bit about what inspiration you had behind the film. What made you want to make this story in particular?
Right. A few things, really. I always wanted to tell a story about just being like the other, I guess, and feeling a little left out there. And he has a bit of a crisis of confidence in the film, and those are things that I felt quite a bit as a child, and even in my adult life, those things kind of come up. I'm better able to deal with them now, but I think that's something that a lot of people feel and can connect to, and it's kind of uh, it's broad enough as well that I think people can put their own uh, feelings onto that story and reflect and see what's in there. So I always wanted to tell that story because it's very close, feeling like an outsider and just not belonging and struggling a little bit. So that was always there for me. And then as far as inspiration in the crows, my father would call to the crows in the neighborhood when we were young, and he mimics the birds very well, and they would come in from all over and start like looking around, and they'd fly a little closer, and they would start calling back to him. And I just remember that, and it's just so funny. And so when I started this project and I had the animation going and everything, I got my dad into the sound booth to do his crow call,
Oh, wow.
and I put that in the film. So every time you hear the little boy in the film, that's actually my dad. So
Oh, wow.
that was really special. Yeah,
No, that is extremely special. And I think you touched on two really important things there. Not only how personal it is for you, which is really touching to hear, but also you mentioned the word broad. And I think that speaks volumes to the short, that it has this appeal and relatability regardless of age. Was that something that you tried to, it sounds like that was something that you tried to achieve to make the story kind of more universally applicable with its themes.
absolutely. It's one of those things, especially I like stories with no dialogue, specifically for that reason. And I think just the nature of the film, like not giving too much away, but just the ideas I wanted to come across, it just no dialogue made sense because it just makes you feel a bit more, and having such powerful music that emotes so well and just tells the story through music. was really important, and it's definitely something I wanted to achieve from the beginning.
Yeah, I love how the language of the film isn't spoken word, but the rich music, the animation, it all really kind of complements one another. Um, I know that from, if we talk about animation more broadly, from Guillermo del Toro's Pinocchio a few months back to right now, Spider-Man Across the Spider-Verse, animation has, is quite big right now. There's a growing recognition that A, it isn't just for children, but also B, it's a medium rather than a genre. I guess I'm curious, as a filmmaker in animation, if you have any thoughts about that kind of changing landscape of animation.
Yeah, I mean, it is so exciting. And every day there's just new stories and new people coming in, pushing the medium and trying different things. And I think that's wonderful. And like even from like a live action kind of story point, animation is so big in all of those films as well. It
Right.
just keeps growing. And some things that we don't even really consider animation uh, gets in there. But I just think it's wonderful that that message is starting to come across, and people are feeling more free to try things, and even like, well, for me, Corvine isn't particularly like boundary pushing in its methods or anything, but I think there's a growing feeling of nostalgia there, and
Mm.
just handcraftedness that comes more strongly now that people are realizing there's just more than the current run. For a while that was the sort of cookie cutter animation, realistic styles that like
Mm.
that's what we're striving for, and that is important. But now that we've kind of got there, it's branching out again, and yeah, it's nice to see the interest rising for smaller projects and more diverse, I guess, um, applications of animation. I think it's great.
Yeah, I agree wholeheartedly. I think it's really encouraging to see the variety coming out, the care for the craft.
Yeah.
I'm wondering, again, as a filmmaker in animation, if you had any kind of thoughts or advice that you would say towards aspiring filmmakers who want to get into animation, who wanted to get into short films or just film in general, if you had any kind of advice from your experience.
Yeah, absolutely. I would say don't be afraid to start early. That's, I think, my biggest thing. I was always, perfectionist is it's a horrible way to be, and you always kind of think, okay, I don't know enough yet. Um, I'll wait, and you spend your time in animation and you work away and you learn, and you do learn a lot, but you never know enough. And when you start doing something for yourself, you realize, oh, well, this, I could never have learned this without actually doing the film. So start early, and just keep it short, I guess. The other thing, I did 10 minutes. It was a bit ambitious for a first film. I think keeping it small and learning your lessons at a smaller pace, and then building. So don't be afraid to make mistakes, and just go for it, because we have the tools now. And uh, yeah, it's just doing it really, and don't be afraid.
Yeah, kind of putting your head down and getting the work done and enjoying it. Yeah, I guess kind of looping back to your short film and watching it, it has this kind of lasting emotional impact. I'm wondering if you do get the opportunity, is this something that you would want to explore either with a sequel to the short or maybe like a feature length film? Is that something that you've thought about at all?
Not up until this point. No, it's always been, I've been so focused on getting this one done. And this one for me, like, it took 8 years. It was a long time in the making. There wasn't a lot of funding or help that I could find. I eventually did with Canada Council for Arts, gave me a grant, and I was able to finish the film off in a year, in the last year of the eight. So that was wonderful. So I've just been kind of stuck into that, but I'm definitely writing now, and I think I am still going to do another short just to learn a bit more. There's me to my perfectionist saying, but I should. But I am thinking a bit more. I would like to try something maybe a bit more ambitious in size and scope, and I think that would be really fun. So I am starting to think about features, but not definitely going to have another short, I think, first.
Got it. Well, I know it's easy to say and that I'm speaking to you, but I think I speak for a lot of people who will watch this film and want to see more of your work. I think it definitely had that lasting impact for me. Yeah, thank you so much for being able to speak with me. I hope everything goes well at the festival, and yeah, congratulations again on such a powerful, emotive film.